Ryan, now that the Tyson Barrie signing is official, like how happy are you to have him in your lineup, and what is he going to bring to this group on a consistent basis?
Yeah, we're of course happy that he and we settled on the contract for him. I think we all know what Tyson is. Like, he is a player that's motivated right now and feels he has a lot to prove. His strength is the offensive side of the game for sure. So I feel like it gives us another option offensively on the power play, all that stuff. So we're excited to have him.
I'm basically quoting a quote that he gave Saul, but he talked about actually wanting to play on the PK and proving that he could be better defensively. Is that something you're open to?
Sure. I mean, we need all of our defensemen to be responsible. Like, he has a skill set. We know that about him. But at the same time, if you can't help keep the puck out of your net, then it makes it tough to get you in the lineup at times. So he's played a lot of games in the NHL for a reason. He can handle himself defensively without a doubt. And as I mentioned before, he is motivated to be a guy that can be counted on in more than just the offensive situations like the power play.
It looks like a pretty game one ready group on paper for you. What are you hoping to see out of this group tonight?
I'd like us to see as close to a complete game as we can get to tonight. So the pace of the game, I'd like to see us be physical, hard, like you would for the regular season. Those are things that are important for me because there is no more runway left. It's the next game after this one is for real for us, and we want to make sure we're feeling pretty good about where our game is at. So just make sure that they're coming on the ice and playing a really hard game together as a group tonight is what we're looking for.
You mentioned Ball and Anderson and hoping that they develop chemistry. Is it putting them in every situation tonight? Is there anything you can do to sort of facilitate that?
They'll play a lot. I mean, you look at them; they're a top four pairing for us for sure. So they're gonna play in all situations. I mean, Andy's a little different; he'll get power play time. They'll both kill penalties, and they'll be on the ice in key situations for sure.
Just because it looks so opening nighty to us, like all's good with like you're just trying to get a look at someone else there.
Correct. Yeah, he's totally fine.
At the onset of camp, you talked about the faith that you had in the three goaltenders, that are here still. Has it proven to be as competitive at that position throughout camp as you had hoped it to be?
Probably more, Parks. I think every time one of them's been in the lineup for us, they've given us a chance to win and kind of probably played above expected, I would say, in those games. Whether it was 2 periods of work for a guy and then in Cool's situation coming in for a period a couple times, they've been very good, prepared and detailed, and they've given the team in front of them a lot of confidence knowing that if there is a breakdown somewhere, these guys are probably going to make the save. So all three have done an excellent job.
All right. What have you and haven't you seen from Pelche camp?
I don't know if it's what I haven't seen from him. We need to see the pace from him where he hurries, an opponent or a defenseman more often, the way I look at for him, into mistakes. So using his speed to his advantage to create some problems for people. We need to see that consistently from him. That's a real part of the role that he's going to have to play. There's a little bit of energy to his role. He has to be a guy that's responsible away from the puck. He had opportunities to play with Michael and Blake for a couple games there because we see that in him, are kind of characteristics that we feel he can fit in that role. So it's doing it consistently, and I think that's probably the biggest thing you can say for most younger players that are trying to crack a lineup.
The rationale behind not playing him tonight?
He's had a lot of opportunities in exhibition, so now it's an opportunity for us to see someone else in a game against an NHL lineup, which we felt was important.
Vladar go the whole way tonight?
Yes, he is.
I know you've talked lots about Adam Klapka in this camp, but describe you've seen him make since he first arrived in this organization.
Well, since he first arrived in the organization, it's been pretty significant. I mean, I think a lot about him last year. The first call-up that he had, I think the game before he got sent down, he played 1 minute and 30 seconds or something because he tried to toe drag 3 people in the neutral zone, which doesn't work at this level. The next time he came up, he was what we're seeing now. He's very direct. He was going to the net hard. He was finishing his checks. So for me, when I look at him and I evaluate him, he's had impact in every game he's played because he's playing to a role that we expect him to play.
So he got the message about the toe drags.
He's got a skill set too, which makes him a pretty unique package, I would say, for his size. Like, he has a good skill set, but it's getting him to understand when's the time and place to do it. And I think he's over the years and the work with the Wranglers staff, they've done a good job of helping him through that.
Just further to that, I know he came over from Europe, and I know the North American game, especially at the AHL level, is a lot different structurally than what they do in Europe. Is it as impressive that he's managed to sort of keep adapting from the European game to the AHL, and then from the AHL game to the NHL game?
I don't know. That's a good question. I can't really speak on the European game to the AHL game or anything like that. I feel like he's a guy that's more suited for playing on a smaller ice surface. Just because he can get in the way a lot, he can use his frame to his advantage, and I think it's more beneficial for him to be playing over here. Yeah.
What do you remember, because it became, something people talked about a lot, what do you remember about Connor Zary in the meeting that you told him at the end of camp last year he was headed down?
Body language. That was one thing where we talked yesterday about how he wasn't happy, and he was disappointed and didn't feel like he had an opportunity to really show that he was ready to play at this level. And like I said yesterday, Connie and I challenged him to find out who he was as a player, and he most definitely went down and did that. He is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So when you see him off in regards to body language and kind of how he felt in that meeting, it's not him. So he wasn't happy with it at all. And I'm pretty proud of him because he went down and did the right thing. He didn't sulk. He didn't pout. He made sure he found out who he was, and he's here now because of that.
There's almost a lesson there for guys who are going to get the news they're not happy with over the next few days, right?
Yeah. You have a choice. If you don't make this team, you can go down and kick stones for 2 or 3 weeks, and other people are going to pass you by. And then your opportunity that you're so close to here is going to be so much further away. Or you can go down and be the hardest working, best player down there, so when there is an issue, you're the first guy that comes back up. So it's always their choice. And that's typically what we'd like them to understand when they go down. And human nature, sometimes guys have a hard time with it, and they don't handle it the right way. And they find themselves spinning their wheels for a little while until they're like, okay, I got to snap out of it. But sometimes when you have competition like we've had, it's a little too late because someone else has now jumped past you when that first call does come.